Hello and pranam to all of my friends and spiritual family members. I've been thinking about the subject of beauty. How by nature we are beauty seekers, whether it's eye beauty or ear beauty, heart beauty, skin beauty, taste beauty. Beauty in the sense of that which is pleasing, that which uplifts us, that which raises us to a higher, more sublime plane. But our Guru Dev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he made a very interesting point that actually beauty is a subjective experience. That if we search for beauty as an external entity, we won't find it. If we try to find beauty by means of some type of formula, we won't find it. Or if we take something beautiful, let's say we take a rose, a beautiful pink rose, and decide we're going to examine this and figure out where is the beauty in here. If we take it into a laboratory and dissect it, we won't find it. We'll be able to identify particular chemicals and different elements that this rose is composed of, but beauty, we won't be able to quite put our finger onto that. Why? Because beauty is a subjective experience. So then we can also throw into that mix, how we all have different perceptions of beauty, right? What one considers to be beautiful, another may consider to be ugly. So it's a very subjective, very individual existence. There's no formula for it. You can't define it in an objective sense. So anyhow, our Gurudev, the point that he made was that actually beauty is a question of consciousness, that we perceive beauty according to our consciousness. So the real question is, how can we fine tune our consciousness so that we can perceive beauty everywhere? And so he said beauty is something that actually comes from the heart. It is through the eyes of the heart that we will perceive beauty, And ultimately it is love. And he told this very wonderful story about Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, of fortune, a revered Vedic goddess, and how she's known for having an owl carrier. And so on one occasion she had a garland, I believe it was a necklace of pearls, she gave to her dear owl carrier and said, oh, take this out and travel around and give it to the most beautiful person that you see. And so this owl went roaming around all the world searching for the most beautiful person. And how many beautiful people do we know? Personally or through the media, there's so many beautiful people in the world, right? And so this owl came across so many persons who no doubt had some degree of beauty, but always she felt something was missing, something was not quite right. The nose was perhaps a little crooked, or the eyes were a little too small, a little too big, or the ears were sticking out, or the hair wasn't curled just right. So the owl carrier, she spent so much time and energy traversing the world, searching for the most beautiful person, and was disappointed. Finally, she returned home. And at home, she found her child, her baby owl, her own baby owl. And she looked upon her owl and said, oh, this is the most beautiful person. This is the most beautiful person I've seen. I've crossed through so many lands searching for the most beautiful person. But here at home, on my doorstep, my own child, my own beloved child is the most beautiful. And so this owl, she gave that necklace of pearls to her own child. Through the eyes of love, she's seeing that her child is the most beautiful. So it's a very wonderful story, and it illustrates, how love is what gives us the perception of beauty. Love is what colors our vision to perceive beauty. And so our Guru Dev, he made this wonderful point that this is like an indication how devotion, to be in a consciousness of love, this is our real natural state. And ultimately to be connected with the Supreme Center, with our, loving divine center, Krishna. This is being in that connection, in that consciousness, in that mood of devotion, living in an expression of devotion to our divine loving center. This is what will enable us to perceive beauty in everything that we go through in life, in every circumstance, in every person, in every situation, every environment that we go through. So it's a wonderful meditation I wanted to share with my friends. Jai Shri Guru Dev.